the word, and as you can see the word of the Lord, so that you know that in your pain and in your suffering for you to remember that God is God, that God is God, and God himself is the Lord. And before we go into the word, because I want you to remember that as we minister, and I want to share something with you today, something that the Lord has put in my mind to share with you. And it's not the first time I have shared a detailed message about this, because now that is in the topic I saw in the news yesterday or so, sometime ago, I'm not sure how many days ago I saw that, but I saw in the news about new executive order that is issued by the President Biden here in the United States, talking about the effects of capitalism, for the capitalism to be capitalism to work the way the founders, our founding fathers, have established it as a free market economy, which sounds good. But we know that with politicians, they like to say things out of their mouths and to create an impression as if that they meant what they're saying and they are going to carry it out, and often they don't follow through. And we know there has been a message about that, urging the administration to be able to do what they say they are going to do, and things that they know that is consistent with God's plan for us, God's will for us. For we know we do not receive or accept things that from people that want to take what belongs unto us. Is either you give us what God has given unto us, or we take what you have and take you away from the places where you occupy, so that you will not be able to stand against us and against God's plan, against God's will, against God's blessings, against God's gift upon our life. For God has given us the power and the dominion and the authority to do so. And as we come before you today, today's message, I want you to reflect upon what has been going on and what we have been talking. And I will do a demonstration for you so that you will hear, so that you can see the world that you live in today. So much people talk about poverty, and people talk about how there are so many people who are poor and how so much money is in the hands of few people, and they talk about how the free market economy works in the way that is supposed to touch everybody. In the market, when you go to a free market today, and you find the market, the open market, where everybody comes from around, people that want to attend to that market, and when they come into the free market, and you walk from table to table, and you look, and you can go through every product that is in that display in the flea market. When you find what you like, you negotiate with the person and bargain for the price, and then if it's good for you and you feel like there is no cheating or anything going on like that, you buy it and you do exchange. Trade by barter, money goes to the person, the product comes into you. So also as services. And you will see in the world of free market economy, you find that it is free. There is no gate where you will stop, except if they decide to create that gate to be only for those that belong to that particular market that can go in there, like you have seen as they have created in different places like Sam Club, like Costco, and all these other people, and using that in the example in the way they have created that market, which means that the market is designed for only members only. And then if you need to buy anything, you can go through the member to purchase them for you. So that's different, but in the world that we separate. So if you don't want to be a member, there's so many other open markets that you can go to, but I'm using the free market in the system, which is the way the market has always been established. And we're talking about creating wealth for people to be able to achieve their blessings, for people to be able to receive what God has given unto them, to buy and meet their needs. They have created a system that is void of structural violence, barriers and walls and restrictions that stop people from being able to blossom, being able to prosper, being able to receive what God has given unto them. In the market today, we have a system that is different. And for those of you for disclaimer and for historical fact, that when we started today, in what we have today in the internet market as a part of a free market, we have seen a dominance and concentration and monopoly that has taken place. And and in which case one company controls all the business and all the transaction and every business that's in the market. So one person owns the market that we call today, as we bring technology into our life to rule and govern our prosperity, and in the way we succeed and do in everything that we do in our life, technology controls it. And one market controls most of them, and even together with Google, with Microsoft, with Facebook, and with Twitter, and these all 4 people formed a pact. So you have 5 people, they are just like the fingers in your hand in as far as technology and industry is concerned. So they control that, including Apple. So in all these companies, so you have Google, you have Apple, you have Facebook, then you have Twitter, and then you have Microsoft. So that's 5 of them. So it's like the back of their hand. So whenever they meet and decide on what happens, that's what they implement among themselves. And they find that your government cannot protect you from there. When your government controls your life and your future, and then now with these companies controlling your life, and I've spoken how unfair and unjust this system is, because it is a tyranny against the people of the world, it's a tyranny against the people in this country, a tyranny for people to achieve their greatness and achieve the things that that God has given unto them, for you to consider this unfair and unjust practices. And unfortunately, the Congress have failed to protect the people, the ordinary people. So everybody's like a slave working for them. In order for you to succeed in anything you are doing in life today, if you do not become a friend or part of these organizations or a member of their thing, and then you will not succeed. And if they decide to stop you and say you cannot succeed in anything you are doing, you stop and you cannot succeed. So they are playing God. That is not only that God has blessed you, but now they're stopping you from being able to receive the blessing God has given unto you, because they all control, and they can decide by saying that if you fit in this category, and then if you are in this particular group, or if you are saying this, and then there will be no way for you to prosper and succeed in whatever that God has given you. So where is the freedom? The freedom of speech and freedom of expression? Where is the freedom of business to succeed? Where is the survival, the ability for one? The nature of human being is to be able to survive in the world. In the world where the world is not over an open market, where there are so many markets that even if one stops you from here, you can go to another one. There is no control mechanism in terms of how price and things are under control, so that it becomes the reach of the people, so that people can compete. So when people talk about executive order in competition, let them also consider and think about the impact it is affecting on other people's life. When the government is no longer interested, when people like things like Facebook and things like Google in particular should have been something that the government, under the normal circumstances of fairness and justice, should have taken under the power and the authority of eminent domain as a principality, as a dominion and a jurisdiction the Lord have established in order to make life equal, equity, to create equity in this world. But instead, they have been able to bribe and pay through their contributions to all these people for them to ignore and suffer all the people. So when people want to talk about, oh, they want to do this for minority, they want to do this for the poor, they want to do and protect this and this and that, is all a talk, because it is not reflected in your actions. But God sees all this, and we have been warning about this, so that we make sure that we create a world that is going to be progressive in the world of technology industry today, so that people shall be carried along in order to create wealth. I was born into a tribe that believes in that don't leave your brother behind, to always carry your brother along in you as you grow. But now we see people that are stepping upon people and marching them down. And I have spoken about this prophecy years ago when I saw this, before all these things now happening. Before all the things that are happening today. So the message for you today is for you to think about those that you put in position in order for them to lead you, to represent you. So when you cause your own pain and you cause your own suffering, so that you do not come to blame God that God has ignored you, and then you want to make a lot of issues and problems and create problems for other people when you have suffered it themselves. for those who are greedy, those that put themselves up as if they are God. That is what they have chosen to be. But when those that represent us are not able to create equity within the system, then when you create such an imbalance, then you create an unstable society, and then it destabilizes the society. There will be no peace. And then God himself, who is the Prince of Peace, have called you unto their peaceful living and peaceful coexistence among yourself. So when you create such an imbalance and such insecurity and such things and situations that created such disparity in terms of access to capital access. Look at what they're doing with for example, with the credit score, and then you see how in the society today we have been silent when we have leaders for their selfish interests have decided to ignore the marginalization and the pain and the suffering of the people in a society that is supposed to be a society that exemplifies Christ, who himself is free and also has the liberty to bring everything that we have asked and even reconciliation unto our Father so that we can become one. So you have to ask yourself, whether are you, if you are a member of the soldiers, are you a soldier? If you are a member of the soldiers, you should know we do not engage in such behaviors that seem to be contravening and undermine the will of God, who himself has blessed us. As he said in the book of 2 Peter in chapter 1 verse 3 to 4, he's already given us everything that we need in order to live in this world. And yet, we are having problems being able to live our life in the world because they have created a system that disenfranchised us and disenfranchised a lot of people and excluded them into the center of the society, whether it's in economic life, whether it's in religious life, whether it is in the social life, whether it is in the psychological life, whether it is in the health life, whether it is in the political life. Then such a society have abandoned because it has no embodiment of Christ in them. And I will demonstrate to you so that you can reflect, so that you can also see the world that we have. And I will take this today. This light is like the world. It has an opening, as you can see. And then you can see in this world, in the economy of the industry that we live in today, the world is closed up. Remember, the world is a circle. I couldn't see a circle thing around here to reflect the world, but we're going to use this as the world. As we know, in this earth is also closed. You have to move from this earth into another planet to show you past effect. But this is the world where all activities, political, social, and economic activities taking place. And then there is a funnel here, as you can see in the internet that you operate, because a lot of people don't understand the way this works. But I am explaining this to you so that you can understand the inequity and the injustice that is going on in the world, which the Lord is warning. He is warning that people should start to pay attention and do something about it. So this is your world. Is right here. Oh, please, can you stand? And then, this is the world where every other person compares. So those that don't agree with me, assuming I am Facebook or Google, all of them in particular, because they have found what they call pushing parts, no pushing parts in terms of the way they hold people's back. And they have also gone into agreement in terms of how to decide what happens in the world. And this is another world. We call it the tunneling they have on the internet. Everything goes through a tunnel, and they all go through channels. As you also are aware of that. And then this is a container. We call it containerization. We're talking about computer and the way computer and industry work. So containerization. So this is now another world. These are the world of, say, the United States of America. This is the United States of America. And then, now in this United States of America, these are some group of people that agrees with the people that control the internet and the business and economic activities and all their stuff. This is their world, right? So we have this big world. We have here United States of America, and then we have here, these are the group of people that are going to succeed, all right? Okay, so now you take this. So these are the individuals that are in agreement with whether political or views of people that control the resources in the world of free market today. And now they're now going to do, say, an advertisement or post, or in order to make their interest popular and known to be, so that other people can ascribe to it or survive or subscribe to it. So let's say this is their information they post, whether it's on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Twitter, or whatever, whether it is a post. So we are going to assume that is both the post or an advertisement for their services and their product, because this is how today we all conduct. This is the majority. A lot of purchases are made online. A lot of the purchase things are also taken in place online. So if they take that information, these are people that agree with them, and they take it and they now want to post it, and they're going to put it. Sorry, I'm using something I could find here. These are things you find in common in your, when you go buy food, they give you extra on the cup, like sauce or things like that. So once they put that in here, I want you to see what is going on, so that you can see and ask yourself, especially for our leaders, those that are control this world. Now, these are the good people. So each one of them have, I can make 20 or 1 million or 1 billion of them, the people that agrees with the people. And now they're going to put that inside. These are the group people. So let's say we got plenty of them all filled out. All their posting and all their activity are all circulating into this particular container. And so let's say these are 1 million or 10 million or 100 million or 200 million people. Now what they do, so that you understand and tell me how fair that is just. So now, so these are all the people that agrees with the views of the rich, the poor, and those that controls the internet. Those that they want to succeed. These are the ones. See how they carefully selected them and their interests and what they wanted to promote, and now they now put that into this container. This container is the United States of America. Okay. Now, these are the information of people who don't agree with them, whether they disagree politically, they disagree religiously, they don't fit within a scenario that the algorithm has already been written to define, and this is what they do. So let's say me, for example, I know I'm one of them, for I know what they have done to me to make sure that I don't even appear on the internet and restrict me. So let's say these are people like me, or those they disagree with, and they're going to put it back. You see, I'm black, right? And they say they advance their promotion of a minority, right? And this is what they do. So that's my posting right here. I've written a post, an advertisement for my business, for our church, for all the interests and positions, so messages, word of God, and I put it here into container like every other American, right? Every other American. You will think now I'm going to close it so that I can post it. The reason why I'm closing it, remember that these are all private and it is personal. So when I close it, it represents that it is secured and it is encrypted and it is secured. I am the only one that knows what is in here and the message here I put in here in my own server. But I'm going to rely on the internet in order to share it with people that are looking for my products, my services, my messages, my sermon, on all the things I do. So, and I want you to know that these are me, right? and you will think that it's going to go into these where everybody's supposed to go. Everybody's supposed to be in the same container, right? Because everything is containerized, and the containment is such that it will not destroy the whole system. That's why we use, in IT, we use containerization to, as a security measure, and at the same time to allow scalability, so that if you grow and get bigger, we can move you to a bigger place without affecting other people. So now, these are supposed to, where they're putting those that are successful, those that agree with them, right? You think they're going to put me here? No, they're not going to put me here. What they're going to do is that they're going to put me in another container. You see the smaller container here? That's where people like us go. People that they disagree with. You see? These people that don't like their view. So they put us all in here, and that's the way they all put us in here into this smaller container, and they have labeled it to be the ones that will not succeed, and the ones that will not progress. Those people, they don't want to see their product, because their views and their product are the reason why they just don't want to shut only down your views and your expression is because they want to shut down also your business, because they have tracked you, they have labeled every one of them, so that now when they do so, you cannot be able to be like the other one. So you see, in this container, these are the good guys according to them, and they are addicted. These are us, the bad guys, those that have views that is not acceptable to them. And you see, and this is in the United States of America that wants everybody to achieve their dreams and their visions, so that everybody's American dream will be achieved for all, right? And they put us all in here. So we are all in the same place called America, right? This is America now. So remember, this is America. The good ones that they want to succeed in life, they want to show every advertisement and business and things they do are inside here. So, and each one of them has a funnel. The computer is written that now this America is now put here. The reason why you have an opening right here like a funnel is that algorithm has been written so that it can come inside this America, assuming that you are advertising your product in the whole of America. And they have come inside this America and wanted to see what they have selling, and they want to see the address, and it comes inside this thing. And because it's a funnel, the algorithm is written that it can come here, and he comes here, he reads the top of the big part, which is the good ones, and he goes there over and finds out what you are selling that is in from that location, because you have already set them all up. They can find it, and he takes it, and he says, where do you want to sell them? And he brings in America, and he takes it, and he begins to take it all around inside this, but he takes it here. If you want to sell it to be known outside the world, he takes it out of this thing. You see, the funnel is coming from here. The computer is programmed to come take this, your advertisement, your message, your sermon, your message, your advertisement for the good ones, right? And he brings it also into this world. But if it's only within the America, it is here inside this big one. But you see, if you now search for something that is sold by someone that is already labeled, that is in the bad one, in this particular container, then they will ignore it. The computer has been told to ignore it so that you will never be seen, you will never be heard of, you will not make money, because the reason why it's designed this way is that if you make money, you can afford probably to develop other ways to be able to convey your message, but they want your message to die. They want your business to die. This is intentionally done and designed in this containerization form. And now, they take this whole thing that is America, that is in the internet of America, and they put it into the internet of the world, the World Wide Web. You see, they now take it. You remember the computer takes it, and it puts them into the World Wide Web, which is this container. You see that? This is this container. This is the way it works. And then inside this World Wide Web, the computer has been programmed to dip his hands. I want you to see so that you understand when we talk about injustice. And this message today goes to the leaders of this country, President Biden, President Biden, Pelosi, you are the mother of America today as the highest woman in the highest office, position of leadership in America. So this message goes to you. And this is something that Trump never paid attention to, and that is one of the reasons why he's out as the president. That the Lord calls you to pay attention, not to just talk the talk about inequity and the lack of prosperity, the poverty, and inability of people to achieve opportunity. For you, that this is a warning also to you from the Lord, so that you will not say you don't understand how it works. That if, for example, Google can block, because they have marked the container of the ones they want to fail, this is in here, the computer knows to ignore it. When it comes and it sees that, ignores that, and then and leave them there. And once in a while, the computer has been programmed to go there and take it out and just show it around, so that you can feel like you are not making progress, but you are trying. But meanwhile, they're getting paid in the same advertisement and marketing of the services. But those that belong into the bigger container here in America, they're taking the computer has been programmed to come here and take it and show it, so that people can see their product and buy. And then if you pay more money, because of the rich gets richer, they can easily afford it. So for the fact that if you don't have the money to pay them, so that they can go and get your advertisement in the small container in there and show it to the people that need to see it. For example, when they search my name, if they search my name and I have not paid, and there are so many people with my name, and some people have paid more money to them. So those ones they will see are those that bear the same name as mine, who have paid more money. So if you don't have money and you are poor, you never have a chance at all, because you are number 1 billion behind. Therefore, people will not see your advertisement. They will not see your message. They will not see your business. They will not see anything that you want to say or achieve. And that way, you fail. So if you don't have money, you're a failure. If you have money, you succeed. If you agree with them, you succeed. If you don't agree with them, you fail. I am telling you because I know this is what has been done to me. And as an IT specialist, I understand the language, and I understand the algorithm, and I understand the system, the way it works. And the message today is for you to understand, and I hope that this is the last message I will see like this. Unless if we want, for we should know, that because they have a power to decide who succeeds and who lives, should we also ask God, who created the world itself? America is in the world, so is every nation and every country in the world. They are inside the same world that God has created. Do we now ask God, as we have demonstrated, to say, Lord God, judge these people, because our judges have failed to be fair and just, and our leaders have failed to be fair and just. And since now that say that this is owned by Facebook, inside this America have created this containerization and this container and so on, and then we look inside this America, and if this is Facebook, and Facebook has put this one up, and then we decide to delete and say, okay, since they have created it, and then what is the point of them living, for they themselves have been unjust, and we decide to say, well, this is the founders of Facebook in this, that's part of their business, and when we take them out, and the Lord will take them out and say, okay, take them out from the face of the earth. If that is done for all these executives, America and the people around the world will lose. If God decides to start to kill them off and for them to die, which we know that God can do. And I'm not saying this to terrorize anybody, and it might be very very serious to some people, and it's not a threat, because we do not threaten anybody. We speak about what God can do. That it is better for us to have a system where these people, because they have built an amazing company, and they use taxpayer-funded research and technology in order to drive these things, that should they continue to enjoy the monopoly and the right, because when those 5 companies agree on anything, they all implement it across the board. All you need to do is to look at their system and the way it operates, and you find the functional light. They might write a different algorithm and a different way in order to avoid the legal disputes, as we have seen in court between a lot of the IT technology companies. That should we now not be better for the United States to take eminent domain authority and create something that looks exactly and works like Facebook, works like Google, and when Microsoft should have been able to do so, but it's no different from them, for they all work together, because he himself had failed in his own search engine and the way it works. But anyway, it also implemented the same format in order to decide who succeeds and who leaves. So if I'm advertising a product and they decide my product cannot be seen, you can swing around in all the places, but it's never shown to anybody who is supposed to see it. Somebody that searched for the product so that they can buy my product, or or listen to our message, or to hear the word of God, assuming that is what they want to target. So the point that we are making today in this message, as we are in this particular series, which is probably not the last of this series, about injustice and the unfairness and the pain and the suffering of people around the world, for our country, this great United States, to begin to look into a process. Free market economy is free. And then Microsoft knows when B Central, there was a product they made decades ago, called B Central. And I was one of those people that used it. We started building websites and internet e-commerce using HTML coding, using HTML coding and using things as simple as publisher software, Microsoft extension, file extension, and HTML codings and all different things to design websites and then implement and deploy a gateway to be able to accept payment on the website. This is decades ago, 2 decades ago. So we are talking about something that we know when the internet is free. Search engine optimization did not start today. I'm saying it because we are creating a world that e-commerce that is going to eventually become the primary way of people doing business or people advertising themselves. People don't look for an office location to go, as we have seen in the COVID, that a lot of people were operating from home. Businesses may no longer be physical and it becomes virtual. So in preparation for that, rather than these people to focus in the competition with China, they are more focused on things that seem to exclude some people and disagree with them, or condemn those who are not like them, those that are not in their league, those that don't seem to support them. And we talk about freedom, and we talk about liberty, and we talk about all these gifts and wonderful gift of our fundamental rights and our constitutional protection, that provision that has protected everybody in order to succeed. We will not talk about the American dream and the disparity between the rich and the poor and how much people have gotten poor. Instead of going to focus on trying to give people a peanut in order for them to live, we should create an opportunity that will allow people to be able to reach their greatest of the highest of their potential, not trying to limit people by trying to give them a handout. Or they are in Maryland today, they are fighting about unemployment and stuff like that. Nobody, how many people want to stay down on unemployment? People want opportunity to succeed in their life, to be able to achieve the greatness of the height that God has given unto them, not the one that is controlled by some people that decide, then they want to play God, that God has blessed you, God has blessed me, and then somebody comes in to decide whether that blessing will get to me or not. Then what is the purpose of government? Then you have lost their legitimate end for the purpose of under the principle, the divine principle and doctrine of jurisdiction and dominion that is given to government the authority for a judge to decide upon your life, for a leader to make his decisions and make policies, to be able to restrict and allow. It's only on the ground that they are going to be fair and just like God, and they are going to do so according to God's will. So that's my message for you today, and I'll take you into word before I end my message. And I know I have taken more time than I had planned to do. I want to